Do you know what the worst part of being eaten by a grizzly is? It's not that you die. It's that the entire time that animal is dragging you into the deep darkness of the woods, you are still alive, and you can hear the sound of your own bones crushing under its teeth. In August 1967, in Glacier National Park, 2 young women heard exactly that sound. Tonight, I want to take you back to the night when all the laws of nature were broken. The night the line between human and prey vanished. It was the summer of 1967. Glacier National Park in Montana was a hiker's paradise. The air smelled of pine, and the sound of waterfalls was everywhere. 19-year-old Michele Koons, a girl with eyes full of excitement, was camping with her friends by Trout Lake. They thought they were in the safest place on Earth. But what they didn't see was a shadow watching them from between the maple trees. An old, thin female grizzly with a face disfigured by old scars. This bear had been circling the campsites for weeks. That night, Michele told her friends, "I feel like someone is watching us." Her friends laughed, but the forest is never silent without a reason. It's about 2 a.m. Michele is curled up in her sleeping bag. Suddenly, there's a scratching sound on the tent fabric. Not like the wind, but the sound of long claws dragging across the canvas. Michele wakes up. Her breath is caught in her throat. She smells it, the stench of rotting meat and the wet fur of a wild beast. The bear first tries to find a way under the tent. Michele's friends wake up in terror, flee the tent, and climb the trees. But Michele is trapped in her sleeping bag. With one violent move, the bear rips the tent open. Michele screams, "Don't move. Maybe it'll leave." But this bear hadn't come to leave. It had come to take something. The bear grabbed Michele's legs and began dragging her into the dark reeds by the lake. Michelle's screams shook the mountain in the absolute silence of the night. My God, it's eating me. And then there was only the sound of tearing flesh and howling. In the same seconds that Michele was taking her last breaths, several miles away in the heights of Granite Park, 19-year-old Julie Helgeson was also in her sleeping bag. Julie and her friend, because the chalet was full, were sleeping outside under the stars. They didn't know that another massive grizzly, which locals called the chalet bear, was lurking right behind the rocks. This bear was different. For years, it had been fed by tourists with leftover sandwiches and trash. It no longer looked at humans as superior beings. To that bear, humans were just bags of meat carrying food. The bear silently reached Julie's head. Julie woke up to the warmth of the animal's breath on her face. The bear's yellow eyes glowed in the dark. Before Julie could react, the bear's teeth sank into her shoulder bone. The sound of crushing bone echoed in the open air. Julie screamed, "It's hurting me! Do something!" But the bear picked Julie up like a piece of cloth and carried her toward the deep valleys. Why that night? Why did two different bears in two different places attack two women at the same time? Later investigations revealed that year, due to drought, the bears' natural food source were low. But worse than that was the park management. For years, they had allowed trash to pile up near the camps, so tourists could take pictures of the bears while they ate. That night, nature took its revenge on human ignorance. Michele and Julie weren't victims of the bear's animality. They were victims of a system that underestimated the brutality of nature. When the rangers found their bodies, even the most experienced among them couldn't hold back their tears. The ground in those areas smelled of death for weeks. The night of the Grizzlies changed national park rules forever. Now, trash is kept in bear-proof containers. But the memory of Michele and Julie still lingers in those valleys.